This is Pat O'Connor, and one of the questions we have received many times is, I'm at the appraisal district and the appraiser has made an offer. Should I take it? How do I know if I should take the offer being made by the appraiser at the informal settlement conference? Well, let's just review the 3 steps in the process: the informal settlement conference, the appraisal review board hearing, and then either binding arbitration or judicial appeal. Very few homeowners continue after the second step. For homeowners, you effectively have 2 steps: the informal settlement conference and the appraisal review board hearing. So if you are at the appraisal review board hearing and the appraiser is making an offer that is reasonable considering all the evidence, you should probably take it. If the appraiser is making an offer which is almost insulting considering all the evidence, I would encourage you to go on to the appraisal review board. So let's consider an example with some numbers. Let's say your home was valued at $300,000 for the current year, and the appraiser is offering $297,000, but when looking at all the evidence, you believe that a value of $270,000 is correct. Considering all the sales data, you believe $270,000 is the correct number. Well, if the appraiser is only offering $297,000, I wouldn't take that offer. I would go ahead and proceed to the appraisal review board. Let's take a second example. Same facts, valued at $300,000. All the evidence supports $270,000, and the appraiser is recommending a number slightly above $270,000. He says, well, I can't get all the way to $270,000, but I can recommend $275,000. You're probably better off taking the offer in that case. It does depend somewhat on whether or not the offer will be extended at the appraisal review board hearing. And you can ask the appraiser what the policy is at that appraisal district. Will your offer be made to the ARB members, or will I be starting all over with no offer at the appraisal review board? The appraiser really doesn't care if you take his offer or go on to the ARB. He won't be offended either way. But if you're going to be starting all over, it probably makes more sense to take the offer, because the arbitrary nature of appraisal review boards means you never know what to expect. You may get a board that's willing to consider the evidence. You may get a board that almost always votes with the appraisal district. On the other hand, let's say you get sort of a middle-of-the-road offer. The home is valued at $300,000. All the evidence supports $270,000, and the appraiser goes, well, I see what you're saying. The evidence really does support $270,000, but I wouldn't be comfortable going below $285,000, so I'll offer you $285,000. In this case, I would likely be inclined to go ahead and continue the appeal, unless you just feel like you have to have the $285,000 locked in. Go ahead and ask if the $285,000 will be offered at the appraisal review board. If it will be, I would strongly encourage you to continue on to the appraisal review board. If it won't, think how upset you'll be if you don't get anything at the appraisal review board, because the appraisal review board could just leave it at $300,000, even if the evidence supports $270,000. So if you get an offer that is lame but offers some reduction, give more consideration if the offer will not be available at the appraisal review board. But if you go to the appraisal review board and have strong evidence, as long as you get an impartial board, you should do well. But the boards vary from taxpayer friendly or taxpayer neutral to very favorable to the appraisal district. So there is an arbitrary element when you go to the appraisal review board. So those are my thoughts on whether or not to take the appraiser's offer. Thanks for watching.